In the vast and varied landscapes of the Indian subcontinent, there exist extraordinary sanctuaries, places where humanity and nature strive to coexist in a delicate, harmonious balance. These are India's biosphere reserves, living laboratories where the rich tapestry of life is not only preserved, but also celebrated. They are more than just protected areas. They are a testament to an ancient understanding that our survival is inextricably linked to the health of the world around us. Within these reserves, life unfolds in its most spectacular and diverse forms, from the highest mountain peaks to the deepest ocean trenches. And I have spent a lifetime captivated by the wonders of the natural world. These reserves safeguard some of the planet's most unique wildlife and rarest plant species, many of which are found nowhere else on Earth. They are crucial strongholds for biodiversity, acting as vital genetic reservoirs and providing essential ecological services that sustain us all. From the misty mountains of the Western Ghats to the sprawling mangrove forests of the Sundarbans, each reserve tells a unique story of evolution, adaptation, and survival against the odds. I invite you to join me on an extraordinary odyssey through these natural treasures. We will journey across the length and breadth of India, exploring the hidden wonders of its 18 biosphere reserves. We will witness breathtaking landscapes, encounter remarkable creatures, and understand the profound importance of these sacred spaces. This is a journey into the heart of wild India, a world of unparalleled beauty and astonishing complexity that we must strive to understand and protect. Our journey begins in the south, in the embrace of the Western Ghats, a range of mountains older than the Himalayas themselves. Here lies the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, India's very first. Its name, meaning blue mountains, is a tribute to the ethereal purplish-blue haze that often cloaks its peaks, a phenomenon caused by the mass flowering of the Strobilanthes kunthiana shrub, an event that occurs only once every 12 years. This is a land of dramatic contrasts, where rolling grasslands meet dense, dark pockets of stunted evergreen forests known as sholas. These unique ecosystems are ecological islands, harboring life forms that have evolved in isolation for millennia. Within the cool, damp world of the shola forests, life thrives in the shadows. Here, we find the elusive lion-tailed macaque, its magnificent silver-white mane framing a dark, thoughtful face. These primates are specialists, feeding primarily on fruits and seeds found only in this specific habitat, making their survival entirely dependent on the health of these ancient forests. They share this realm with a dazzling array of orchids, their intricate flowers adding splashes of vibrant color to the green canopy, and countless medicinal plants, whose secrets have been known to the local indigenous communities for generations, a living library of natural remedies. But to see one of Nilgiri's most iconic residents, we must venture out onto the steep grassy cliffs. Here, defying gravity on the precipitous slopes, lives the Nilgiri tahr. This agile mountain goat, with its curved horns and confident gait, is perfectly adapted to this challenging terrain. Watching a herd navigate these near-vertical rock faces is a breathtaking spectacle, a testament to the power of evolution. The Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is a microcosm of the Western Ghats' immense biodiversity, a vital sanctuary where every creature, from the mighty tahr to the smallest orchid, plays a crucial role in a complex and fragile web of life. From the mountains, we travel to the coast, to the sun-drenched waters between India and Sri Lanka. Here lies the Gulf of Mannar, a realm of extraordinary marine biodiversity. This was the first marine biosphere reserve not just in India, but in all of South Asia. Its shallow turquoise waters conceal a world of vibrant color and ceaseless activity. The reserve encompasses 21 islands, each fringed with a mosaic of interconnected ecosystems, coral reefs, seagrass beds, and mangrove forests, all working in concert to support a staggering diversity of life. The health of this underwater kingdom is vital, acting as a natural barrier against coastal erosion and a nursery for countless marine species. Beneath the gentle waves, a city of coral thrives. These intricate structures, built over thousands of years by tiny polyps, form the backbone of this ecosystem. They provide shelter and sustenance for a dazzling array of reef fish, their iridescent scales flashing like jewels in the filtered sunlight. Weaving through the coral gardens are green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles, ancient mariners returning to these waters to feed and nest. The delicate balance here is palpable. The survival of every organism is dependent on the health of the reef itself, a fragile paradise vulnerable to the slightest changes in its environment. Moving from the reefs into the calmer lagoons, we find vast meadows of seagrass swaying in the gentle currents. These underwater prairies are the feeding grounds for one of the most gentle and enigmatic of marine mammals, the dugong, or sea cow. These shy herbivores graze peacefully on the seagrass. Their slow, deliberate movements a picture of tranquility. Their presence is a key indicator of the health of these seagrass beds. The Gulf of Mannar is a powerful reminder that our planet's greatest wonders are not confined to land. It's a submerged sanctuary where the rhythms of the ocean dictate the ebb and flow of life. We now journey east, to the world's largest delta, where the mighty rivers Ganga, Brahmaputra and Meghna meet the sea. This is the Sundarbans, a name that evokes both beauty and danger. It is the largest single block of tidal halophytic mangrove forest in the world, a labyrinth of waterways, mudflats and small forested islands. Life here is dictated by the rhythm of the tides, which twice a day submerge vast swathes of the forest, transforming the landscape completely. The dense network of mangrove roots anchors the soil, protecting the inland regions from cyclones and storm surges, a vital, living shield for millions of people. This is a kingdom of adaptation. The trees here, the Sundari, for which the forest is named, have evolved specialized roots that grow upwards, out of the mud, to breathe. They are called pneumatophores. Amidst this tangled world of roots and brackish water, the apex predator reigns supreme. The Royal Bengal Tiger of the Sundarbans is unique. It is a powerful swimmer, capable of crossing wide rivers, and has adapted its diet to include fish and crabs. To catch a glimpse of this magnificent creature patrolling its domain is a rare and unforgettable privilege, a vision of raw, untamed power. The waterways are also home to other formidable predators. The saltwater crocodile, an ancient reptile, basks on the muddy banks, a patient hunter waiting for the unwary. Above, the canopy is alive with the calls of hundreds of bird species. Kingfishers, with their brilliant plumage, dive for fish, while majestic white-bellied sea eagles soar overhead. During winter, the Sundarbans become a crucial stopover for migratory birds, their numbers swelling the already rich avian population. This tidal land is a place of constant flux, a dynamic and challenging environment where only the most resilient can survive. Our journey now takes us to the roof of the world, to the towering peaks of the Garhwal Himalayas. Here, encircling the majestic Nanda Devi Peak, lies a sanctuary of breathtaking beauty and spiritual significance. The Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve is a place of extremes, a landscape carved by glaciers and dominated by some of the highest mountains on Earth. Access is difficult, and for good reason. For decades, the inner sanctuary was closed to all, allowing nature to reclaim and heal itself. The result is one of the most pristine alpine ecosystems in the world, a true wilderness. The lower reaches are cloaked in forests of fir, birch and rhododendron, but as we ascend, the trees give way to vast sloping meadows known as bogyals. In the brief summer months, these meadows explode into a riot of color, carpeted with hundreds of species of wildflowers. This is the Valley of Flowers, a legendary place where every step reveals a new botanical marvel. Here, amidst the vibrant blooms, we might find the endemic Brahma Kamal, a beautiful saucer-shaped flower that blooms only at night at these high altitudes, a celestial offering in a sacred landscape. This remote and rugged terrain is the realm of a truly mythic creature, the snow leopard. With its smoky gray coat, patterned with dark rosettes, it is the ghost of the mountains, perfectly camouflaged against the rock and snow. Its presence is a sign of a healthy, intact ecosystem. It shares these heights with the Himalayan musk deer, a shy and solitary creature sought for its valuable scent glands, and the blue sheep, or baral, which form the snow leopard's primary prey. The Nanda Devi Reserve is more than a protected area. It is a symbol of pristine wilderness, a sanctuary where nature, in its grandest form, remains sovereign. We travel now to the verdant hills of Meghalaya in northeast India, a region known for its staggering rainfall and lush landscapes. Nestled in the West Garo Hills is the Nokrek Biosphere Reserve, the heart of which is Nokrek Peak, the highest point in the range. This reserve is a treasure trove of biodiversity, its dense subtropical forests teeming with life. The climate here is a crucial factor, creating a humid, fertile environment where flora and fauna flourish. The local Garo communities hold this land as sacred, their traditional knowledge and sustainable practices having helped preserve this rich ecosystem for centuries. Deep within the tangled undergrowth and thick canopy, a small arboreal mammal makes its home. The red panda, with its fiery coat and long bushy tail, is a creature of quiet beauty. It spends most of its life in the trees, feeding almost exclusively on bamboo leaves. Its shy nature and specific dietary needs make it incredibly vulnerable to habitat loss, and reserves like Nokrek are absolutely critical for its long-term survival. The forests also echo with the trumpeting calls of Asian elephants, which migrate through these hills, their ancient roots protected within the reserve's boundaries. Perhaps Nokrek's most significant contribution to the world is its genetic diversity. This region is considered a primary center of origin for citrus fruits. The forests here are home to a remarkable variety of wild citrus species, including the critically endangered Citrus indica, the ancestor of many of the cultivated citrus fruits we know today. These ancient strains represent a vital gene pool, holding potential resilience against diseases and climate change for global agriculture. Nokrek is a living library of genes, a small but immensely important sanctuary that safeguards the future of both wildlife and our own food security. Our odyssey now leads us to the very center of India, to the rugged highlands of the Satpura range. Here lies the Mannar Biosphere Reserve, a landscape of stunning sandstone peaks, deep gorges, and cascading waterfalls. This reserve is often called the Queen of Satpura for its exceptional beauty. It's a place where geology and biology intertwine, where ancient rock shelters, adorned with paintings thousands of years old, tell the story of the long and intimate relationship between humans and this land. The forests are predominantly teak and sal, but the varied topography creates a mosaic of different habitats. In the high branches of the giant trees, a flash of color and movement might reveal the Indian giant squirrel. This magnificent rodent, with its multi-hued coat of maroon, cream and black and a tail longer than its body, is a spectacular sight as it leaps acrobatically from branch to branch. It is a key seed disperser, playing a vital role in the regeneration of the forest. The shadows below belong to more elusive creatures. The leopard, a master of stealth, patrols these forests, its rosette-covered coat providing perfect camouflage amidst the dappled sunlight and fallen leaves. The cool, moist gorges and shaded forest floors of Pakmari are a paradise for ferns. The reserve is renowned for its incredible diversity of pteridophytes, with numerous rare and endemic species finding refuge in its damp microclimates. Orchids too thrive here, their delicate flowers clinging to tree trunks and mossy rocks, adding to the enchanting atmosphere of this central Indian wilderness. Pakmari is a unique confluence of northern and southern Indian species, a biological crossroads that showcases the incredible richness of the subcontinent's heartland. We return to the east, to the state of Odisha, to explore a vast expanse of rolling hills and dense forest. This is the Similipal Biosphere Reserve, named after the abundance of simo, or the red silk cotton tree. In spring, these towering trees burst into a profusion of brilliant red flowers, setting the forest ablaze with color and attracting a myriad of birds and insects. Similipal is a crucial part of India's elephant corridor, and its sprawling sal forests provide a vast and vital habitat for some of the country's most iconic wildlife. The landscape is punctuated by spectacular waterfalls and meandering rivers that are the lifeblood of this ecosystem. This reserve is one of India's most important tiger habitats. The dense forests and hilly terrain provide the perfect cover for the Bengal tiger to hunt and raise its young. However, Similipal is also famous for a unique phenomenon, melanistic tigers. These are not a separate species, but tigers with a genetic variation that causes their stripes to be so thick and close together that they appear almost black. These black tigers are incredibly rare, a stunning example of genetic diversity found within this protected wilderness. The reserve's large size is critical for supporting a viable tiger population. Beyond the great cats and elephants, Similipal is a botanical treasure. The forests are rich in medicinal and aromatic plants, their properties understood and utilized by the local tribal communities for countless generations. This traditional knowledge is an invaluable part of the reserve's heritage. The health of the forest, the purity of its rivers, and the survival of its magnificent animals are all interconnected. Similipal is a powerful example of a large contiguous wilderness, a sanctuary where the grand spectacle of the Indian jungle continues to unfold, painted in the vibrant red of the silk cotton tree. We find ourselves once again in the heart of India, at a point where two great mountain ranges, the Satpuras and the Vindhyas, converge. This is the Akanakmar Amakantak Biosphere Reserve, a landscape of immense ecological and spiritual importance. The Amakantak Plateau, which forms the core of the reserve, is a place of pilgrimage. For it is here that three major rivers, the Narmada, the Sun and the Johila, begin their long journeys to the sea. The health of the forests in this reserve is therefore critical, not just for the local wildlife, but for the millions of people downstream who depend on these sacred waters. The forests here are a mix of moist, deciduous and dry deciduous types, creating a rich and varied habitat that supports a diverse range of fauna. The leopard, adaptable and elusive, finds ample prey in the herds of chital and sambar deer that graze in the forest clearings. But a more formidable herbivore also roams these hills, the gaur or Indian bison. This is the largest bovine in the world, a magnificent animal of immense power and presence. A herd of gaur, with their muscular builds and formidable horns, is a truly impressive sight, a symbol of the untamed spirit of the Indian wilderness. The unique geology and topography of the Akanakma-Amakantak region have given rise to a unique assemblage of plant species. The combination of different forest types and the presence of the Myakal range creates conditions suitable for a host of rare and endemic plants. This reserve acts as a crucial bridge, connecting the ecosystems of central India and the Eastern Ghats, allowing for the movement and genetic exchange of species. It is a vital watershed and a biological corridor, a sanctuary that nourishes both land and life from its very source. Our journey now takes us far from the mainland, to a remote archipelago in the Bay of Bengal. We have arrived at the Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve, a world unto itself. This island, the southernmost of the Nicobar chain, is a land of pristine tropical rainforests, untouched beaches, and a unique cultural heritage. Isolated from the continent for millennia, life here has evolved on its own trajectory, resulting in a high degree of endemism. The reserve is a fragile paradise, a living laboratory of island biogeography, where the processes of evolution can be seen in action. The dense, humid forests are home to creatures found nowhere else on Earth. One of its most remarkable residents is the Nicobar megapode. This ground-dwelling bird is a master architect. Instead of incubating its eggs with body heat, it builds a massive mound of sand and vegetation. The heat generated by the decomposing organic matter incubates the eggs. It is a remarkable and laborious strategy, unique to this family of birds. The island's rivers and coastal waters are also the domain of the saltwater crocodile, the top predator in this island ecosystem. The flora of Great Nicobar is just as unique as its fauna. The rainforests are dominated by towering trees draped in lianas and epiphytes. Endemic palms and tree ferns create a prehistoric atmosphere in the forest understory. The indigenous Shompen people, one of the last uncontacted peoples on Earth, live a semi-nomadic life in the interior of these forests, their existence intricately woven with the health of their environment. The Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve is more than just a sanctuary for wildlife. It is an ark, carrying a precious cargo of unique species and ancient human cultures, floating in the vastness of the ocean. So we return to the southern tip of the Western Ghats, to a region just steeped in myth and legend, and honestly, overflowing with life. This is the Agastyamalai Biosphere Reserve, named after the sage Agastya, who is believed to have meditated on its highest peak. This area is actually recognized as one of the world's most important biodiversity hotspots, a veritable crucible of evolution. The rainfall here is immense, and the steep, inaccessible terrain has really protected its forests from large-scale disturbance, allowing them to retain their primeval character. The landscape is a stunning mosaic of tropical wet evergreen forests, montane sholas, and grasslands. This reserve is a critical stronghold for several endangered primate species. The familiar silver-maned lion-tailed macaque finds refuge here, as does the more retiring Nilgiri langur, but the dense canopy also hides more secretive creatures. The Malabar civet, one of the world's rarest and most elusive carnivores, is thought to persist in these forests, a nocturnal ghost that is almost never seen. The rich biodiversity extends to all forms of life, with an incredible number of amphibians, reptiles, and butterflies, many of which are endemic to this specific mountain range. The plant life of Agastyamalai is legendary. It is a storehouse of medicinal plants, many with properties yet to be fully understood by modern science. The local Kani tribe, who have inhabited these hills for centuries, possess an encyclopedic knowledge of this botanical wealth. It was from them that the world learned of the anti-fatigue properties of the Arojapacha plant. This reserve is not just a collection of species, it is a dynamic evolutionary workshop and a library of traditional knowledge, a sacred landscape where nature's secrets are still being revealed. Here, dominated by the third highest mountain on Earth, lies the Kangchenjunga Biosphere Reserve. The name itself means the 5 treasures of the Great Snow, a reference to the 5 towering peaks of the massif, which are believed to represent the 5 repositories of gold, silver, gems, grain, and holy books. This vertical reserve spans a breathtaking altitudinal range, from subtropical lowlands to the permanent ice and snow of the high peaks, encompassing an incredible diversity of ecosystems within a relatively small area. This is a land of mists and mountains, a realm perfectly suited to some of the Himalayas' most charismatic and elusive creatures. The snow leopard, the apex predator of the high altitudes, stalks the rocky crags in search of baral and Himalayan tar. At slightly lower elevations, in the dense bamboo and rhododendron forests, the enigmatic red panda makes its home. This reserve is a crucial link connecting the red panda populations of Nepal, Bhutan, and India, and is vital for the genetic health of the species. The air is filled with the calls of hundreds of bird species, including the spectacular satyr tragopan. The floral diversity of Kangchenjunga is simply staggering. The reserve is a global hotspot for rhododendrons. In spring and early summer, the mountainsides are set ablaze with the blooms of dozens of different species, painting the landscape in shades of red, pink, white, and purple. The forests are also rich in medicinal herbs, many of which are used in traditional Tibetan and Lepcha medicine. The local communities, including the Lepcha, Bhutia, and Nepalese, hold the mountains and forests as sacred, a belief system that has been instrumental in the conservation of this extraordinary Himalayan wilderness. Our journey takes us to the floodplain of the mighty Brahmaputra River in the state of Assam. Here, bounded by the Brahmaputra and Lohit rivers, lies the Dihang-Dibang Biosphere Reserve. This is a unique landscape, a mosaic of semi-evergreen forests, moist deciduous forests, canebrakes, and extensive grasslands. It is a land shaped and reshaped by the annual floods of the Great River, which deposit rich alluvial soil, creating a fertile and dynamic environment. The reserve is a haven for water-loving species and is particularly renowned for its rich avian diversity. One of the most intriguing stories of Dihang-Dibang is that of its feral horses. These are not truly wild, but descendants of army horses that were abandoned after the Second World War. They have since formed free-roaming herds, adapting remarkably well to this riverine environment. They are a unique and charismatic feature of the reserve's grasslands. The waters of the Brahmaputra itself are home to another remarkable creature, the Gangetic river dolphin, a functionally blind mammal that navigates and hunts using echolocation, its presence indicating the health of the river system. The wetlands and grasslands of Dihang-Dibang make it a birdwatcher's paradise. It is a designated important bird area, providing a crucial habitat for a host of resident and migratory birds, including many threatened species like the white-winged wood duck and the Bengal florican. The semi-evergreen forests are also home to a spectacular variety of wild orchids, their delicate beauty a stark contrast to the rugged, untamed nature of the landscape. Dihang-Dibang is a testament to the resilience of life in a constantly changing riverine world, a vibrant sanctuary sustained by the power of the Brahmaputra. We venture now into one of the most remote and least explored corners of India, to the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Here, the Siang and Dibang river valleys carve their way through the Eastern Himalayas, creating the Dihang-Dibang Biosphere Reserve. This is a land of dramatic near-vertical topography, where the altitude plummets from the high Himalayan peaks to the Brahmaputra basin in a very short distance. This incredible altitudinal gradient has resulted in a stunning succession of climatic zones and vegetation types, from tropical wet evergreen forests in the foothills to alpine meadows and permanent snow at the top. This rugged and inaccessible terrain is a sanctuary for some of the world's rarest and most secretive animals. It is one of the last strongholds for the Mishmi takin, a large goat antelope with a thick shaggy coat, perfectly adapted to the cold high-altitude forests. The dense canopy provides cover for a host of elusive cats, including the marbled cat, the golden cat, and the magnificent clouded leopard, a breathtakingly beautiful predator with a coat that seems to capture the very essence of the forest's dappled light. The sheer diversity of life here is thought to be among the highest in the entire Himalayan range. The flora of Dihang-Dibang is equally diverse and in many areas still being catalogued by science. The lower elevation forests are rich in diverse bamboo species, which form a critical habitat for many animals. As one ascends, these give way to temperate broadleaf forests and then coniferous forests of fir and hemlock. The local Adi and Mishmi people possess a deep understanding of this environment, their cultures and livelihoods intricately linked to the forest's resources. Dihang-Dibang represents a frontier, not just geographically, but for biological discovery. A vast and wild sanctuary holding countless secrets yet to be revealed. We remain in the northeast, traveling to the Himalayan foothills of Assam, to a sanctuary that straddles the border with Bhutan. This is the Mannar Biosphere Reserve, named after the Manas River, which flows down from the Bhutanese Himalayas and through the heart of the park. It is a place of immense scenic beauty, with a unique combination of alluvial grasslands and dense semi-evergreen forests against a backdrop of towering Himalayan peaks. Manas is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized for its critical importance as a habitat for a multitude of endangered species. This reserve is a crucial refuge for species that are found almost nowhere else. The golden langur, with its coat of shining cream and gold, is a primate of ethereal beauty, its range restricted almost entirely to this region. Manas is also the last major stronghold for the pygmy hog, the world's smallest and rarest wild pig, a creature that depends entirely on the tall, wet grasslands of the region. And here, wallowing in the beals or wetlands, we find magnificent herds of wild water buffalo, their massive horns a symbol of the untamed power of this landscape. The health of the riverine grasslands is key to the survival of this unique assemblage of animals. These grasslands are maintained by a natural cycle of fire and flooding, creating a dynamic habitat that supports not only the pygmy hog and buffalo, but also the hispid hare and the Bengal florican. The forests, meanwhile, provide a home for tigers, elephants, and clouded leopards. Manas is a story of recovery and resilience. After facing significant challenges, intensive conservation efforts are helping to restore this sanctuary to its former glory, a testament to the importance of transboundary cooperation in preserving our shared natural heritage. Here we find the Seshachalam Hills Biosphere Reserve, a landscape of steep slopes, deep rocky valleys, and dry deciduous forests. These hills are not as high or as wet as their western counterparts, but they possess a unique and rugged beauty, and they are home to a number of species found nowhere else. The reserve is also of immense cultural importance, as it encompasses the sacred Tirumala Hills, one of the most important pilgrimage sites in Hinduism. The Seshachalam Hills are world famous for one particular tree, the red sanders or Pterocarpus santalinus. This tree, with its rich red-hued heartwood, is endemic to this specific region of the Eastern Ghats. Its wood is highly valued internationally, which has led to intense pressures from illegal logging. The establishment of the Biosphere Reserve is a critical step in protecting the last remaining habitats of this unique and precious tree, a species that has come to define the identity of these hills. The forests are a mix of dry deciduous and moist deciduous types adapted to the seasonal rainfall. Amidst the dry, scrubby landscape, a tiny nocturnal primate makes its home. The slender loris, with its large round eyes and deliberate slow movements, is a creature of the night, foraging for insects in the canopy. Its survival depends on the health of these forests. The reserve is also home to a number of endemic plant species, geckos, and birds that have adapted to this specific environment. The Seshachalam Hills are a prime example of how biosphere reserves can protect not just flagship animals, but also unique flora and the entire ecosystem that supports them, safeguarding a landscape of both ecological and cultural red gold. We travel back to central India, to the state of Madhya Pradesh, to the Vindhyan range. Here, the Ken River has carved a spectacular gorge through the ancient landscape, creating the heart of the Mannar Biosphere Reserve. This is a land of dramatic scenery, with vast plateaus, deep ravines, and magnificent waterfalls. The dominant vegetation is a dry and mixed teak forest, which transforms from a stark, bare landscape in the dry season to a lush green paradise with the arrival of the monsoon. Panna is a story of remarkable ecological revival. This reserve is a testament to one of the most successful conservation stories in recent memory. After losing its entire tiger population, a dedicated and ambitious relocation program has brought the magnificent predator back to these forests. Today, a thriving population of tigers roams the plateaus and gorges of Panna. a symbol of hope and a powerful lesson in conservation commitment. The success of the tigers has had a cascading effect, helping to restore the balance of the entire ecosystem, keeping the populations of deer and antelope in check. The Ken River, the lifeblood of Panna, is home to another critically endangered predator, the gharial. This unique crocodilian, with its long, slender snout adapted for catching fish, is one of the rarest reptiles on Earth. The clean, flowing waters of the Ken provide one of its last remaining habitats. The cliffs along the river are also nesting sites for vultures, and the reserve is rich in avian diversity, with over 200 species recorded. Panna is a powerful reminder that with dedication and scientific management, even ecosystems on the brink of collapse can be brought back to life, their wild heart beating strong once more. We venture now into one of the most remote and least explored corners of India, to the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Here, the Siang and Dibang river valleys carve their way through the Eastern Himalayas, creating the Dihang-Dibang Biosphere Reserve. This is a land of dramatic, near-vertical topography, where the altitude plummets from the high Himalayan peaks to the Brahmaputra basin in a very short distance. This incredible altitudinal gradient has resulted in a stunning succession of climatic zones and vegetation types, from tropical wet evergreen forests in the foothills to alpine meadows and permanent snow at the top. This rugged and inaccessible terrain is a sanctuary for some of the world's rarest and most secretive animals. It is one of the last strongholds for the Mishmi takin, a large goat antelope with a thick, shaggy coat, perfectly adapted to the cold, high-altitude forests. The dense canopy provides cover for a host of elusive cats, including the marbled cat, the golden cat, and the magnificent clouded leopard, a breathtakingly beautiful predator with a coat that seems to capture the very essence of the forest's dappled light. The sheer diversity of life here is thought to be among the highest in the entire Himalayan range. The flora of Dihang-Dibang is equally diverse and in many areas still being catalogued by science. The lower elevation forests are rich in diverse bamboo species which form a critical habitat for many animals, including the red panda. As one ascends, these give way to temperate broadleaf forests and then coniferous forests of fir and hemlock, which are rich in rare medicinal plants. The local Adi and Mishmi people possess a deep understanding of this environment, their cultures and livelihoods intricately linked to the forest's resources. Dihang-Dibang represents a frontier, not just geographically but for biological discovery, a vast and wild sanctuary holding countless secrets yet to be revealed. For our final destination, we journey to the northernmost reaches of India, to a high-altitude landscape that lies in the rain shadow of the Great Himalayas. This is the Cold Desert Biosphere Reserve, a vast, starkly beautiful region in Himachal Pradesh and Ladakh. It is a land of extremes, with scorching sun, freezing winds, and minimal precipitation. The landscape is a breathtaking panorama of barren mountains, deep river valleys, and vast open plains. Life here is sparse and has evolved incredible adaptations to survive in one of the harshest environments on Earth. This is the domain of the ghost of the mountains, the snow leopard. Here, in the vast open spaces of the Trans-Himalaya, it finds its ideal habitat, preying on herds of ibex and blue sheep that navigate the treacherous slopes. The Siberian ibex, with its magnificent scimitar-shaped horns, is a master of the cliffs, a symbol of the rugged resilience required to live here. The Tibetan wolf, another rare predator, also roams these high-altitude steppes, its survival intricately linked to the sparse prey available in this challenging landscape. The plant life of the cold desert is subtle but tenacious. In the brief summer, the river valleys and sheltered slopes come alive with low-growing herbs and shrubs, many of which possess unique medicinal properties. These plants have to contend with extreme temperatures, high UV radiation, and arid conditions, and have evolved unique biochemicals to survive. This makes the region a hotspot for bioprospecting. The Cold Desert Biosphere Reserve protects not just iconic animals, but an entire unique ecosystem. A fragile world of stark beauty and incredible adaptation. A testament to the tenacity of life at the very edge of existence. We have journeyed through mountains and mangroves across deserts and down to the depths of the ocean. We have witnessed the incredible diversity of life that finds sanctuary within India's 18 biosphere reserves. These are not merely parks or protected areas. They are living, breathing ecosystems where the intricate dance of life continues as it has for millennia. They are reservoirs of genetic diversity, sources of clean air and water, and bastions against the growing pressures of a changing world. The survival of the snow leopard, the tiger, the dugong, and countless other species is intrinsically linked to the health of these remarkable places. The future of these sanctuaries, however, is not guaranteed. They face threats from climate change, habitat fragmentation, and human pressures. Their protection is a responsibility that falls to all of us. By understanding their importance and appreciating their beauty, we take the first step towards becoming their guardians. Supporting conservation initiatives, promoting sustainable practices, and spreading awareness are all crucial actions we can take. The fate of these natural wonders rests in our hands, a sacred trust passed down to us, which we must in turn pass on to the generations that will follow. The heritage of a nation is not measured in monuments of stone alone, but in the richness of its living landscapes and the diversity of its wildlife. These biosphere reserves are the true crown jewels of the subcontinent, a legacy of breathtaking beauty and profound ecological importance. They are a reminder of our deep and ancient connection to the natural world. Let us cherish and protect these natural wonders, for they are the true heritage of India.